My name is Steven, and this is the 9th video in my new series called Introduction to CodeIgniter. In this video, we'll be covering some of the functions of the database library. We're gonna talk about some of the active record functions in the database library, as well as in regards to adding values to a database, to a MySQL database. Just clean this up a little bit. First thing we'll do is create a new function in our site controller. We'll call this insert values. And again, we're just going to keep using this get_db model to keep theme. We usually don't want to load too many different models. I don't know. It just helps keep things a little bit more organized. So we're just going to load this despite its improper name. This dash load model get_db. We'll save it, and then we'll go into the get_db model and create another function. Call this insert one, because this is just going to be the first way that I'll show you how to do it. I'm actually going to show you how to do it two different ways. So what it will receive one parameter. This is just going to be an array, which it'll actually update and create a new row in the database. So we'll just call this data because I suck at naming things. What we will do then, all we're going to do is this db insert, and this is the active records way to do it. I'll show you a little bit further before I explain. We'll say the test table is where we'll be inserting it to, and the array that we'll be inserting is data. So all we do when we insert values is we will go this get_db and then insert one. That's what we called it. Okay, but as I stated before, we need to pass in an array. Call this values or new row for simplicity's sake. So you actually, I don't know. What we'll do, we'll call this new row is equal to array. And then in this array, we're going to create some new objects. So our ID will be equal to. Actually, we don't need to specify an array because that's auto incrementing. All you have to do is specify a name, and the name will be Bob this time. We can of course change this, but that should be all that we need to worry about right now. Okay, we might as well just echo out something. It's the view. It has been added. Normally we would never echo anything out from the controller, but because we're not actually handling a lot of this data, it's going to, we don't want to load that view. So we'll go insert values. It has been added. It says it's been added. So why don't we go ahead and actually look at that? I'll go ahead and load my PHP admin. Go into ci-intro is the table we're working in. Sure enough, it actually loaded Bob 3 times because I loaded that 3 times. So we know that this is actually we know that it's inserting properly. I just want to show you guys one more way to do it. The function insert2. So we'll go into our model, sorry. Again, this is going to receive an array, but in this array it's going to receive multiple objects. And this is the way to do it if you have more than one row that you want to add. So we'll go insert underscore batch into the, and this works actually pretty much the exact same way as just plain old insert batch. It will receive an array, but what it does is it receives a multi-dimensional array instead of just a regular one. So if we go back into our site controller, we're not going to call the insert1, we're going to call insert2. Only this will not work because it's loading, this is only a regular array. It needs a multi-dimensional array. So we'll go array, this will be the first array. And we'll give this one the name of Sue, because again I suck at naming things. And then it'll take another array and this name instead will be Dylan. Okay, so we'll save this. We're still passing in the new row array, only this is a multi-dimensional array with two different arrays in it that will both become new rows in our database. So let's run it. I'll just refresh this because that's all we need to do. It says it's been added, so let's not take its word for it. Let's actually check. Reload this, and sure enough, we've got Sue and Dylan now in our database. So it's now adding two different arrays at a time. Normally we would do this with like some kind of form input when we're inserting values into a database, or depending on the application it could be totally different. But that's it for this video. That's how to insert values into a database using the database library in CodeIgniter.